week of our summer sessions. My name's Jess, and if we haven't met before, I'm so pleased that you're here. And this is Ethan.
Hey guys.
And we thought we'd jazz things up a little bit because it's summer sessions. So I brought these 50p from Tiger. We're not sponsored, but I'd definitely check it out. And also, if you're wondering why I've got the pink one, he's got the blue one, it's because I don't think blue suits my complexion. It's not a sexist thing.
Pink one.
He actually did really want the pink one.
Flag, yeah.
He also almost got attacked by a bee when he put it on.
I remained calm and collected.
If you're wondering what summer sessions are, then normally over August and over the summer, we would take a break from our sessions. But we thought this year, you can't go on holiday, you can't do much, so why don't we record 6 sessions that you guys can watch online so that we can stay connected throughout the summer. Ethan, how can I stay connected?
Yeah, to make sure we stay connected with you guys, how about you guys share this video with everyone you can, whether that's by Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever way possible with whoever you can. And also, why don't you subscribe to this channel, just so we can stay connected with everything that we're doing with you guys.
We are going to head to worship now, and Faith is going to lead us in worship. Faith is actually Ethan's sister, so it's a whole family ting this week. Why don't you get in a position that you're comfortable worshipping in, could be stood up, could be sat down, and why don't you get ready to meet with the Lord.
From, oh yes, my soul.
So throughout the summer sessions, we're going to be exploring the topic of joy, what it means to be filled with joy, and to experience it. And this week we have Jazz, who has filmed a video for us all the way from Kenya talking about joy.
What up everybody, it's Jazz and we're here with the start of our brand new series called The Quest for Joy, and it is great to want to talk to you guys about this for like a couple of minutes. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a youth volunteer. I mainly work with younger youth, but I love talking to all of you guys, and I miss you all like so much. But here we are talking about the quest for joy. Now, what springs to your mind when I say joy? Do you think of a person that you know called Joy? Do you think of laughter? Because that's kind of what I think of sometimes too. Do you think of happiness? Or do you think of something that's more like constant and permanent than any of those things? And when I say the quest for joy, what does that mean to you? Some of you might be thinking quest makes it kind of sound like Prince Charming from Shrek, where you have to like endure blistering winds and scorching deserts to like dig out this tiny little bit of joy. But I think it's a lot more simple than that. So to me, joy isn't a feeling. It's not an emotion like happiness or sadness. Joy is like a baseline level. It's like a constant state, and it's something you can only get from God. In the Psalms, it says, "The joy of the Lord is my strength." And so what that means is just you delighting in God, and that's what gives you your strength. That from that joy, your work flows out of it. From that joy, your friendships come out, your relationships, how you view other people, how other people view you. I think joy is the lens through which we can look at life, which sounds a bit deep. And some of you might be thinking, well, Jazz, I haven't felt joyful in months since this whole situation kind of popped off. And I don't really know what you're saying. If you're saying that I need joy to have success in all the other areas of my life with God, then how can I work that out? But firstly, I think it's really important for us to remember that all good things come from above. That's what it says in James. God gives us everything that is good and pleasing in this world. And that includes joy. And from joy, that can expand to happiness. And like those times that you've laughed so hard that your stomach hurts. Those all come from God. And God likes to give us good gifts because that's his very nature. So in times when perhaps we might feel less joyful, or that our joy's been taken away from us, because let's be honest, that happens sometimes. I felt that, and I'm pretty sure you might have felt that too. You just lost it a little bit. What can we do to find our joy? Now, I said happiness and joy aren't the same thing, but I do believe they often go hand in hand. And so things that make me happy often remind me that my joy is still there, hasn't gone anywhere, and it comes from God. So some practical things that you can do if you're feeling a little bit not so joyful and how you can look for it. I'd say the first thing is pray. But you might think, oh, Jazzy, I've been trying that, or that's what everybody says. I don't mean you have to lock yourself up in your room and like pray to God every single second of the whole day and then he'll give you your joy back like that. I mean to be still and to spend some time with God and to just ask him to reveal himself to you, because like I said, God is a God of joy. He loves these positive emotions. And to hang out with him a little bit and just be like, hey, I just want to give you all this stuff, and in return for you to refill me. You never left, but I might have perhaps lost sight of you for a sec. So number one would be to pray. Second of all, I'd say get outside. I'm at my most joyful when I'm on a long, long walk, listening to some epic tunes or some like ocean sound, depending on the vibe, and just taking deep breaths. It sounds a bit silly, but when you're out walking, you're just... it just clears your head like mad. Other things that I think can be really helpful in our quest for joy, especially if we're going through a bit of a hard time, which is what we're going to cover in some of our later sessions in this series, is to reach out to people. I have this kind of little like mental map in my head of some people who I call my joy anchors, and they're just people with who I know I will leave feeling appreciative that they're there and feeling grateful that they've engaged in a conversation with me. So perhaps sit down and have a think of who are the people in your life who just remind you that life is good, and reach out to them. I found that sometimes a lot of people really do appreciate a random FaceTime in the middle of the day, no plan. If they pick up, be like, hi, I was just thinking about you. People love hearing that they were being thought of, and see how they're doing. The last thing I'm going to say about joy is that your joy comes from God and your joy is in your control. So never let it go, and never let anyone or anything take it from you. Whenever you feel like something's getting you down, just remind yourself you are a loved son and a loved daughter, and that your Father's given you a present. He's given you this gift of joy, and no one has the right to take it away from you. And you have that ownership, and that should be your identity as a joyous child of God. So don't let anyone take it from you. Own it, walk with it, and see how your life changes. Come back next week as we continue our series in joy and hear more about it. Lots of love. Bye.
Jazz, thank you so much for sharing with us your wisdom all about joy. I hope you got some good notes, and if you didn't, why don't you watch it back? The beauty of YouTube is it stays here forever. Ethan, what have we got coming out on Tuesday?
So every Tuesday we have a podcast. So you can find it just by looking up Summer Sessions podcast on Spotify. So go check it out.
And if you are in school years 6 to 8, then why don't you check out our Younger Youth Journal Summer Sessions? And for 6 weeks, we are going to be running a series called Bible Stories Revisited. You can find it. It's going to be coming out every Sunday on this same YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe. Ethan, should we pray?
Absolutely. Thank you, Father, for all the joy that you give us, even in times of hardship and tribulation. There's always joy to be found in your spirits and your presence, Lord. May we continue to seek you in all things, whether good or bad, hard or easy, Lord. Let us just seek you more and more every day, every second. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. See you next week for week 2 of Summer Sessions.